It might take a little.
I get a live.
Yeah.
I have Sue sitting in that chair.
Good.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir. All right. So let me start with this. Oop. There we go. Good. We're good to go. All right. Welcome, everybody. It is 7:02. Yeah.
I'd like to extend appreciation and congratulations to the town for the voting turnout yesterday of 90 plus. 91%. Very impressive.
Yep. I will call the meeting to order for Wednesday, November 6th, 2024. All right, a few things on the agenda. First up, David and the Conservation Commission for the project. All right.
I've got a copy of the one into your desks there. We came in with a budget of $43.50 last year, the year before, and not too different the year before that. This year there have been some changes and increases that we've had to place on the budget, such as the easement monitoring that we've been doing. Sarah Callahan has monitored it for us for years. She can no longer do it. She does not have time to do it anymore. So we have to go out and find people to do the easement monitoring. So we put $3,500 in there just to make sure we cover that line item. Just below that is baseline documentation. We need to have baseline documentation for these easements if we're going to move forward and have everything, instead of scrambling looking for things, it'll all be, and we're not sure exactly what that's going to cost, so we put in $500 for that. Emails, that was something that was suggested, I believe, by the selectmen.
Yep.
And we put $600 in for that. Not sure whether that can be changed up or down, but the cost per person, 7 members of the board.
We'll double check with the police because you guys know the latest numbers on that. So
Yeah.
we'll make sure that that number is right.
Thank you. And then we have now recording secretary Hillary Reserve, who's done other work within the town, is now also doing it for us. And we put in the amount there for that. And the total comes out to $6,600.
Okay. Questions from members of the board? My one question, David, is the baseline documentation. What exactly does that entail?
You'd have to ask Forrest more about that than me. He's the one that's on it right now. But we're looking for any documentation such as deeds and everything. So
Basically putting it all in one place for your reference? Okay.
A collation of documents.
Got it. Okay, great. All right. And what's the NHACC subscription?
that's New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commission.
Got it.
We decided to join them. They have a lot of information and assistance they can give to us.
Okay. Good. Other questions for David on the Conservation Commission proposal? No. Great. David? Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Sue?
just wanted to make one comment because we already have a system called Trino where we scanned all our documents and all the deeds are in, all can be accessed electronically.
Okay.
And it's already, you could just get you a user ID and you could pull up any file you wanted to do by map and lot, name and address. So I think that could be an option. It's something we already pay for.
Yeah.
And I think that would be.
In a sense, just getting Conservation Commission specific access and the documentation.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
So you're looking for deeds, you said?
Great. They say
And other
$500.
documents that might be available
Yeah.
for each one of these.
And conservation could even add documents to each of those individual files.
All right, well, I guess I'll stop by your office sometime.
Very easy to use and I'll show you how to do it.
Okay,
Great.
sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
Anything else? All right. David, thank you very much. Appreciate the Conservation Commission putting that together.
No problem.
All right, next up, Brian. Two items we asked you to come in on. Why don't we talk a little bit about Autumn Lane real quick? So, as you may be aware, at the last meeting, there was the recommendation of us basically getting rid of the bond for Autumn Lane. We didn't want to move forward with that formally until we just had any recommendation from you or
We should be all set with that.
no problems, nothing.
Brian, did you ever move the mailboxes back?
I'd have to check on that.
Because we talked about it, because they put them right on the blacktop.
Okay. I would have to bring that up to the developer, yeah. But it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. So you're comfortable with us basically getting rid of the bond?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Then just to make sure you guys, we talked about the bond last time. I'll make a motion, a formal motion now that we've talked to the road agent, that the town basically releases the bond for the Autumn Lane Road construction.
Second.
Second by Hobie, all in favor? Aye. Great. Yes, ma'am.
Did you also want to accept the road? Now that it's...
I want you to do the bond first.
Okay.
I do them as separate votes. It's better, cleaner that way. So now on the issue of acceptance, again, releasing the bond is one thing. Are there any issues with respect to the road that we need to be concerned about acceptance?
Only be with the mailbox.
Okay. And with the mailboxes, there's a policy in place. If they don't abide by the policy, then they're on the hook anyways.
Right, if they don't abide by it, they get hit, and then...
It's their problem, not ours. Yeah, okay. Any questions about accepting the road?
That does make, I'm sorry. Mark?
Go ahead. No?
That does make your job harder calling them when they're right there. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's just, like, if they're in the wrong spot, and
Yeah.
it's their responsibility. I mean, anything in the right of way, it's their responsibility, really, anyway.
Any other questions on accepting the road? This will now make the town responsible for all maintenance, plowing, and everything else with respect to the road. Yeah. Okay. I will make a motion that the town accept Autumn Lane as a town road.
I'll second that.
Second by Hobie. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Great. All right, so we've taken care of that portion of our discussion with the road agent. Your budget. Come on up. What do you got?
The budget, well, the only real issue is...
$1 million?
No. The only issue is paving. I know we upped it last year.
Yep.
And we talked for years trying to get it up. I know we went up 40,000 last year. So, the road's coming up in 2025.
Yeah.
The one that needs it the most is Bassett Lane. But we talked about the roads that we have coming up, all the new roads that were put in 93 and the early 2000s. Now you have Bassett Lane and Deer Trees and Hayden, Finn, and you have Partridge Hill, and Runaway, and Scanlon, and Heath.
You're all coming up.
All these roads that we have done nothing to in 25 to 30 years, and now they're more than due.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was hoping to do was to do Bassett Lane and Finn Ave next in 2025.
Bassett and Finn?
Yes, that would do more than half of Deer Trees,
Yeah.
instead of trying to run it out for 3 or 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then just sets us back farther. So to do Bassett Lane and Finn Ave would be approximately, it would be about $267,000. Now, we had 230 in our budget.
Last year.
Last year.
Yep.
So we would need to bring the budget up approximately another 40 like we did last year.
Okay.
That would give us Bassett Lane and Finn to reclaim and do the 2.5-inch binder in 2025. And then 2026, we would do Deer Trees and Hayden Drive at a cost of approximately $115,000. Substantially less, because we have 7,200 feet between Bassett Lane and Finn, and we only have, for Deer Trees and Hayden, I think we only have 30, 34, 35.
And you're combining Bassett with Finn and Deer Trees with Hayden mainly because where they're located next to each other.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
going
So
to-
you're doing it on continuous
Right,
basis.
we're not stopping
Yep.
on the middle of one road.
I figured as much, but I thought it was.
Intersect, you know, so if we did that, if we got the budget up to 270 this year for paving, next year, if we were doing the replanting to finish Deer Trees, then it would still allow us to do our top coats on Sanborn and Bald Hill Road that we've already reclaimed 2 to 3 years ago.
Okay.
And that would give them their top coat, the wearing course, which would give us another 15 to 20 years on those roads. And then that would line us up for, Partridge, Runaway, Scammon, and Heath in the fall. In a few years. All the big roads are pretty much, we did 5,900 feet of Old Reed Road. We've done all Meadow, we've done all Hemlock. We've done Oaklands, we've done most of Bald Mill Road. Now we're gonna have hopefully Deer Trees there.
Well, Bald Hill and Sanborn.
Bald Hill Road and Sanborn. So the next one's coming around 2,000, 3,000 feet, but we can do reclaiming and binding, and then we'd be top coating some of the deer trees and stuff as we did that.
So do you estimate after these 2 years going forward, we'll be doing what, about 200 to 250 a year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere between 2 to 250 especially once we got deer trees taken care of.
Yep.
Between this year and next year.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I think, we'd be fine.
Okay. Okay.
Because, we do that, we still got to jump downtown, but I think, years ago, we always tried doing a mile road.
Right.
And then it was down, but we could only do 3,000 feet, so. Now,
Because of the cost of materials.
because of the cost.
Where are materials at now,
Where are they?
Cost.
Where is it?
Cost. That's a no.
It's like 87, I think in place it's like 87 a ton or something. But the reclaiming is what's costing us because we've let roads go so far. So that, that's costing us $40,000-$50,000 a road, to reclaim.
It's a little extra on each road
Right.
because we have to do.
Right, yeah. So.
And that's mainly because we fell behind because everything got a lot more expensive.
We were way, when we had bonds out, we couldn't afford it. We talked about it, and it was never the year. This year's not the year.
So, one of the things that I've been mulling over is actually establishing a road maintenance fund, which would, again, figure-wise, I'd vote to raise and appropriate $50,000 to basically go into a maintenance fund, select board as the agent. Not to basically solve this problem, but to allow us to have some flexibility
Yeah.
where, let's say, a problem came up on, one of the sewer mains broke or something like that. In the context of your budget, you can spend money on that, but then we could draw from this to basically cover a paving budget. Or we need to do a road reclaim that we hadn't anticipated. Or, road washout. Right? We need $5,000 to fix a road washout.
Which we always have something.
Right. And
This
so
year we were very lucky.
by doing basically a fund like this, it would, presumably we're not going to be throwing $50,000 into every year, but it is providing some kind of a cushion for unanticipated events. Or, to be honest, unanticipated budget shifts, right? Start the year, we think that a road will cost $267,000, something happens, crude oil goes to $150, it's gonna cost us another $30,000 to get that done. I don't know if you have any thoughts about that.
I think it's something to look at, definitely look into it. I mean, is there any way that at the end of the year, if we had money left in the budget, the highway budget, could that go into that? Or does that have to go to the general fund? I know we've done it before, as long as it was allocated to a paving project, like the fire station.
Yeah, well, in a sense of that, we encumbered funds year to year.
Right.
And so we basically knew there's additional paving we want to do. Under a contract, we could encumber the funds to roll over. Yeah, but I don't think that we can divert unexpended operating budget money into a fund. I don't believe that that's the case. I don't
It
believe
was a pay,
Yeah, we can always, like the fire truck capital reserve fund, we can always do a warrant article to add money into it
Right.
if we're depleting the fund. But we have no,
We had enough.
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, we have a road maintenance capital reserve fund, there's nothing in it.
No, nothing in.
Yeah, right. And so this will just put $50,000 in there, so we have that flexibility.
Yeah. Maybe next year would be a good year to start. I mean.
Well, I can suggest this.
I mean, I'd
If
rather go with an extra 40 in the budget to do DSRs this year.
Mhm.
Next year, I don't think we really need, we might be able to take 25 or 30,000 less
Mhm.
and put that into
Yep,
Interfund.
and basically do
Start
that. Yeah, put more money back into the fund.
a. Right.
Sure.
Sure. That would be, something to talk about.
Sure.
But this year, like, I still have, $100,000 in my budget coming in November.
107.
I always try to keep 30 to 40
For
for
winter.
snow removal.
Oh, absolutely.
Going in and going,
Yep.
but I also have River Road we're still gonna do, and we're gonna do the fire station, which I think is, you have that money. We were gonna do Quinn Court, but we're waiting on surveying and whatever,
Right.
before we do Quinn Court.
Right, but that's a small one.
That's a small,
Yeah.
15 grand or
Yep.
something.
Okay.
But that's why I have some money left.
Yeah, so the big thing for next year for you is really the 267 for Bassett Control.
Yeah, if we could get those two deer trees the following year, we finish up deer trees. And
Any other changes to from last year's lines?
I don't believe it's gonna be.
Okay. Gravel, culvert work,
Yeah.
mowing, all that's gonna remain the same?
Yeah, tree, yeah.
Okay, so it's really the paving on the second sheet?
Sheets of paved.
Okay, great. So, just so everyone's clear, last
We've got-
year, total budget was 420. So next year then, the budget request is 457, 458,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, we make that,
Okay?
If you have a light winter, it's a wash.
yeah. If we have a light winter, yeah. I mean, we have.
Right, but we have to budget for it.
We have to budget for that, yeah. And that's why there's money left too, we have to.
Other questions?
No, but after we get to, I got some questions, but not on the budget. Before we get to that point.
Any other questions on the budget? No? Okay, great. All right, what else do you got?
Brian, have you heard any update on Summer and Pleasant?
Bill Meserve, I talked to him, and I think they were working on a design.
Yeah, the engineer's supposed to come up with a design with the idea that next year we would actually do it.
We were talking about doing it like after Memorial, Day, after the parade and everything, and then.
Timing wise, so that they're.
Well, I understand all that, but I mean, that's the latest thing that you have. You haven't gotten anything new from Bill or anything.
No,
Okay.
but I know it's out of like all the state and everything.
Yeah, the engineer's been identified, it is just, trying to they've done some initial work looking at the water flow down there to identify, and the solution actually may be easier than
What we thought,
what we thought, which is a good thing.
but there's still a lot of pipe in it.
Yep.
It's just,
Yeah, and so, but they're supposed to do something, basically look at it so that
Yeah.
come the spring will be.
Bill was real confident, because I mean, we've been talking about it for 2 or 3 years, and Bill was real confident that it was gonna happen after, like, say, June, July.
Yes, yeah.
That summer.
That's what he said to me as well when I,
Plan on Swampscott Street?
Playing on Swamp.
Yeah, where we talked about it as far as the runoff.
Oh, the upper corner?
Yeah, we weren't gonna do anything until we did Swampscott, especially if they're parking there all the time. Because they, I mean, without curbing, I mean, I mean, they're wearing the grass away, that's why we're getting erosion, so.
Excuse me, can I say something about that? So the erosion's coming around the corner. That car's been removed, the Audi was not.
Yeah, the car has,
Can
but
I
there's
just,
still
no, I'm
three
just, let me
cars
finish. The
tonight.
Audi was dead as a doornail. It was never moving on or off the property. It stayed in the same spot. So we did coordinate with the state, and they said they're just waiting, they're happy to coordinate with the town, so that whatever the town part does, the state will do.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yes,
I
well,
think-
we copied you on the message, so.
When was that?
I haven't seen that.
I haven't
If you
seen
sent
it.
it to the board.
So Paul sent a message, and I think you knew that we talked to someone at the state.
I knew you were
Yeah.
going to, yeah,
We did.
and I didn't hear how it came out.
They said they were happy to work with us.
Keep it, send it to all of us and.
Who's at the state?
I'll have to ask Paul the name, but I have the email, so I can just forward that to Hobie, and I don't have yours, I don't think, but we've been communicating with Hobie.
Okay.
But I can,
I haven't seen anything on that, so, with the state, I'm glad we talked to the state, see what they want to do.
Yeah.
We can all do, you know.
So where was Swampscott on the schedule? Any idea?
I just want it done before spring, because that's when the real damage happens.
It won't be done before spring, so,
Well, we started it over, like,
I know.
since late winter.
Yeah, well. Hey, you're not gonna get paid any much sooner, so it would be in the spring, it won't be before spring.
So when all the water is running, we can still work on that.
Yeah,
Okay. I was just curious, did the town do the area down, in front of the town
state,
hall?
it's all state.
And also the house down further? Okay.
Everything on this road, state.
Yeah, they've been pretty responsive, so I'm hopeful
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
But the corner has nothing to do with any vehicles. We don't park anywhere near
Well,
the
some
corner.
of the
That's-
corner is the state, because they're right away.
Right, we had them actually come out and point to where
Yeah,
that line
I was
ends.
gonna say,
So
the right away is
there's
gonna
a
be pretty much the
significant-
house.
So there's a significant amount going
Beyond
from, going from where their point ends towards where any vehicle was behind the Audi that was like dead and not moving.
Oh, down the hill.
It goes all, yeah, we met
Yeah.
and talked about that, and so it washed out the walkway, that has nothing to do with the vehicles, that is the water coming around the corner. And there's a line where the town, the state ends and the town starts, and that's what I'm interested in finding out what you're gonna do with the town part.
Well, let me ask you, when is the state going to give you a solution? Did they say they would?
They said they're just happy to coordinate with you guys whenever you're able. We can have a meeting, you know, we can, whatever you do, I'm not sure. I just said-
well, I think this is the first that we've heard of any of that.
Yeah, I wasn't.
First thing I heard about meeting with the state, so.
Well, we said last time we would reach out to them and try and coordinate, so we did. They said absolutely, they're happy to coordinate, so I'm coming to you to say, what is the next step for that?
Well, I think the first thing you need to do is forward the correspondence that you've had with the state so that we can understand what they've said.
And who we.
They-
And who,
I
who we
will
can
tell you
have
who-
Brian then reach out to, because at the end of the day, he's gonna meet with them to figure out what they will allow, what they won't allow, and who's gonna be responsible for it.
Yeah, where we're going, where they're going to, what their responsibility is and what our responsibility.
Well, yeah, they can show you where the line is.
Right, yeah, so just send out the email with the contact, I'll call the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If it's a state engineer.
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
One other question, Brian. Did you send an email I sent about the handicap? Are you going to get another?
Yep,
Okay, can turn at 90?
yep,
Because there's people, I never saw that sign until about 4 months ago.
yeah.
With the handicaps?
Yeah, it faces the road, and there was people parking there yesterday that didn't have handicap stuff on it.
So you can't really read the sign.
Yeah, you
At this point, it's pretty faded, right?
All right, that's all I have for you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I ask one other question? I
Sure.
don't know if I have to put it on the next agenda, it's fine, but also would like to have, put a larger size rock or stone on near the corner, between the house and the corner, just because it ends up being really, I mean, our house is right near the corner, with like some barrier in between. And obviously plowing damages that corner severely every year, and that's part of the erosion. So we're hoping that that will prevent that a little bit.
Put the rock there,
Something there, yeah.
well, it can't be in the right of way.
I'm just asking where, when we meet, can you
Yeah.
identify where, up to what point we can put something, whether it's fencing or rock, whatever
Yeah,
that is.
well, there's a right of ways back.
I'm just asking for
Temporary remedy, if you can figure out
something,
something, just
Yeah.
yeah.
give her a hand here.
Thank
That,
you.
I mean, that does take a lot of snow, that intersection.
Always has.
Always has.
I mean, there's no way around that,
Right.
given where the state is and that we have a town road there.
But part of the damage is it's so packed into the house, that's where all the erosion is, it's where damage is to the house, I just want some barrier in between. So if you could identify where we're allowed to put it, that would be
Well, maybe if and when
We'll
you,
meet with the
yeah,
state.
we'll meet with the state, you can just
We'll know
delineate
their
it.
lines.
Maybe
You can see ours. 'cause
just
ours-
put a couple stakes.
Ours is the stone walls up in
Yep.
front of the parsonage and, you
Exactly.
know, that's the.
That stone wall is the edge of our right of way.
Right.
Yeah.
So you'll forward that, you'll send me that email? and
Yep.
I'll get it out there.
Yep.
Great. Thank you. Anything else for the road agent? Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Next up, tax rate. So every year, at the end of the year, well, tax is in two pieces. One's in July, which is basically half of the prior tax rate, approved tax rate. And we set the final tax rate at this time, at the end of the year, based upon information from the state. And so Sue is here to kind of walk us through, and we can then make a determination on setting the tax rate. Sue? Have it.
This is the preliminary tax rate of $16.09. Last year it was $15.79, so a difference of 30 cents. And then, I'm going to go here. No, wait, no. Oh, right, we can read one. And then this will be the breakdown, so. So this is what we have in our unassigned fund balance, 1.2 million. We did vote on our warrant articles in March that we would use $200,000 of this unreserved fund balance to be applied to the tax rate. Those were individual warrant articles. Tonight we need to determine if we want to use any of the remaining unreserved fund balance, which will now be $1,036,000. We need to determine if we want to use any of that money to bring that tax rate down lower.
Any additional funds?
Any additional funds.
So the 200,000, just so everyone knows, that's for the fire truck.
And then we need to confirm, so every year we put money in for overlay. This is usually for abatements. It's standard that we use $20,000 every year. Last year we put in $30,000 because we did a reval. But that's the standard, but they ask us to confirm it every year anyways. And then this would be the breakdown here. So the town rate is $255 this year, and last year it was actually $276. So that's gone down. The county rate, 57 cents, that's gone down a penny over last year. And then the school, 1181, and last year, so the school has gone up. Last year it was $11.21, and the state education tax went down from $1.24 to $1.16. So that's how they arrived at the 1609. But I'll show you, like, so if you decide to, like, just say you wanted to put in 50,000, how do I 50, use that? How do I make the screen, how do I put the monies in? Well, it's different that way, but look.
Try the, yeah,
What number?
There you go.
Oh, it's the number.
it's the number one, yeah. There you go.
How do I get rid of the rest of it, though?
Can you hit delete, go forward?
Hit delete now.
There you go.
Yeah, and then you go down here, calculate it. And we'll show you, so if you put 50,000 in,
Can you just step back? So
Yeah.
we can-
oh, sorry.
That's
So if you
fine.
added 50,000, it would bring the tax rate down to 15.99.
From the 1609 base rate that we
1609, which was the preliminary.
basically every 50,000 in this is worth 10
10
cents.
cents, yeah. So. I won't do anything with that,
So the question is it's twofold. Do we want to change the overlay, the 20,000 overlay? And do we want to provide any additional funds from our undesignated fund balance to further bring the tax rate down?
What's the net effect for an average taxpayer? So let's say someone has a house that's now appraised at 750,000, right? And then it's-
Let's do $500,000 because it makes it easy. Math is easy, right? $500,000, so it's basically $500. If you're lowering it 10 cents, you're taking off $50 off their taxes on an annual basis. Right, that math is right. 500, 10
You're
cents,
better at math than I am.
$50.
So
So-
as these new assessments come in, how are they gonna jump?
So for every, Hobie and I talked about this today, and Hobie, let me know if I'm remembering correctly. For every $456,000 that you need to raise, that's $1 on the tax rate.
That sounds
So, right? Is that what I said?
So that doesn't make sense to me in a sense of, our municipal budget is approximately $2 million.
It's always a percentage of this, so we're
Yeah.
assessed at 456 million.
So,
So if you need a dot for every.
so for every dollar, 456,000 gets raised.
Yeah.
Oh, right, I'm sorry, I was thinking about our budget. I didn't adjust it for revenues,
That's,
I
yeah,
didn't adjust it for revenues. So, let me jump in here and say, so going from 1579 to 1609 is a 1.9% increase in the overall tax rate. If we lower that, we're just making that a lower increase. I mean, technically, we could make it negative, right? We could throw $400,000 in there and make it negative. My opinion, I don't recommend that. At 1.9%, it's a very small, less than inflation increase. 1 year, we actually lowered the rate. The problem was inflation hit next year and taxes jumped substantially because we overcompensated down, and then because of everything else, we spending a lot more money, they went up. And so we had like a 5% increase, when if we had just left it, it would have been much more like a 3% on top of a 2%. So I think, in my opinion, I would, coming in at 1.9% without having to tap into the undesignated fund balance, to me, I think that's excellent.
I don't think 10 cents, a 10-cent drop is, you get the kick for it.
Yeah, I don't see a huge benefit. Anyways,
Yeah.
Art?
I'm just curious, just as far as the new appraisals or new assessments.
Yep.
How is that going to hit people? Where are they gonna feel this?
So
big time?
our assessment took place last year, our reassessment of the town.
So it's not.
So we went from can you show the 456 million?
That's-
So we went from about a 300 million base to 450 million base. It was a 50% jump in our base. Now, that occurs every 5 years.
So it won't happen again.
No, it'll be very incremental. It'll be very incremental from here until our next reassessment. At that point in time, it's a significant impact.
Okay, because I think that's probably what people are, they're expecting, like, oh, things are gonna go up.
No.
every time.
We only get reassessed every 5 years.
Yeah.
And we're required to be reassessed every 5 years. It's not an option.
It's a state.
So I think we felt that impact last year in December, because all those values were adjusted.
Yeah, gotcha.
And again, not just so you understand, one of the things that happens when we reassess, okay, our rate automatically drops substantially.
Yeah.
because we're raising about the same amount of money, but now on a larger base. So our rates used to be around $20. They went down to like 15 and change, but that's because our real estate base went from 300 to 450. So when you look at our historic rate, it'll go, tick, 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 and then our rate will drop. But it's only because our rate base got increased due to the assessment, and then we'll tick up for 5 years, and then it'll do the same thing again. Because we get re-ratcheted up usually by a large amount every 5 years.
Okay.
So that way you understand when you look at historic rates, what's going on. I can say this, when you adjust for the reassessments, for the last 9 years, we've averaged about 2% on our increases, despite the fact that we've had, we had to go up, I think, 5.6% 1 year. We've actually been pretty consistent.
Okay.
All right? You guys good?
Good.
So we're gonna leave it at this rate?
What's that?
We're gonna go with 1609?
Hold on 1 minute. Question?
So I heard that it's 5 years for reassessment. Right?
Yep.
So did Newmarket just do something this year though? They want, but then they
Towns are on different schedules. It's not every town on the same 5-year schedule. So it's basically they rotate. There's a bunch of towns that did them last year. There'll be a bunch of towns that do them this year. Another set will do it the year after. So I don't know what Newmarket schedule is. Do you?
No.
Yeah. So, I think Northampton did it 2 years ago. I think that's right. And so different towns will be on a different 5-year schedule.
Do they ever, is there any way to do it not in 5 years, but maybe 2 years, or is that just a state?
Well, one, you don't want to. Towns don't want to do that. Here's why. So the other categories of our taxes, like education or the county, right, is all based upon our relative value to everybody else in the county or in the state. If we're reappraising every 2 years, we are ratcheting up a lot faster than everybody around us. So we, relative to everybody else, are going to be paying a bigger burden every single year. Now, it'll make that drop less substantial if we do it every 2 years, but we'll actually end up picking up far more than, lack of a better term, our fair share of some of the other categories by going like on a 2-year basis.
Just minimizes the taxes going up immediately.
Yeah.
And then
Last year,
Of
the
course,
table.
right.
Yeah.
We got-
Yes,
we got
but it's not going to happen for another 5 years.
The
Well,
highest
right,
it's ever been.
Yep.
So-
Like everybody else, we just saying, everybody else, now taxes for 5 years.
So one other thing I'll throw out here, just in terms of consideration of our tax rate, as much as we can influence it, and we try to keep the municipal rate where it is, can you show the 4? So if you notice, we don't represent a huge percentage of that overall $16. We're $2.50 of it.
Schools, 1297.
It's the
Yeah,
schools.
I know that, yeah.
It's the Exeter SAU, it is Newfield's SAU, and actually the state portion of education, it bounces around, but it's fairly consistent, it bounces around. That's what's driving, when you see a radical change to your taxes,
to the schools.
that's why. That's why.
Yeah, that's, okay.
It's not us.
Sure.
I mean, for the most part, yeah. I mean, we, like I said, when we had the big jump in the budget, the municipal rate went up more than it usually does. But again, it was a 5% increase. We went up, I don't know, the equivalent of like 30 cents or
When is
something.
the next time SAU 16 going to, or it's 16, right?
Yeah, so 16.
When are they going to reassess?
I don't know what their budget looks like. No, they won't. No, that's driven purely by the SAU budget.
That's where you,
Yeah, that's not an assessment issue. It's purely what their budget looks like.
when is the next vote for that?
Same as ours. They're doing their budgets for next year right now. And in March, you'll be voting on the SAU budgets. Both the Exeter SAU, as well as the local school budget.
You can find out their schedule online.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just.
I will make a motion that we do not do any additional undesignated fund balance to offset the tax rate, and we do the 20,000 overlay that we have traditionally done.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So I can make completely miserable, you know.
You're excited to file this right now, online, aren't you?
Of course, I want to get the bill out. I'd like to have it due on December 12th.
Yeah.
It would be 30 days. I have to wait a couple days, but okay. So now they'll get back to me and break it down. All right.
Okay,
Wonderful.
great. So the rate you will get is 1609. Now you guys can budget. Now you can budget.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for that, guys. That takes care of ZBA tax rate. So next item is the ZBA appointment. So there's a vacancy on the ZBA board, and we'll receive this. You can take a look at that. Tom Grella has expressed an interest in serving on the ZBA. We have a vacancy there. Jack Steiner stepped down from the ZBA. I know Tom has a lot of experience in municipality government. He's pretty knowledgeable. I believe he reached out to you, Ken? You had a conversation?
He did, and I think his background is solid.
Great. So I'm always excited when somebody steps up to fill a vacancy.
Will it be an alternate or a full-time?
Well, the vacancy is Jack's position is full-time.
Jack's position is a full board member. We have Catherine Tarnowski as an alternate and Scott Sokowski.
Yep.
And my...
So this term also expires.
With Scott is he would prefer not to be a full board member and only participate when it is an absolute need.
So this position also expires in March of 2025. So it's going to have to be.
Okay, it's a short.
Yep, it's a short one. Just so everybody.
Yeah.
Any questions or concerns about the appointment? I'll make a motion to appoint Tom Grella to the vacancy created by Jack Steiner on the zoning board of adjustment.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Great, thank you very much. You have a full board now. How exciting, right? How exciting.
So soon he's going to need the...
Yeah, he'll show,
The
swear in.
the town book, and this book.
All right, so we have a town hall rental request. Nature Nurture is looking to rent the town hall on November 21st. I presume that doesn't conflict with anything, right?
No, they asked me.
Okay. From 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. It will be a non-alcoholic function, and people anticipated is 50. Any questions about the request by Nurture and Nature to rent the town hall? No? I'll make a motion to approve the town hall rental agreement with Nurture and Nature. Second by Matt. All in favor? Aye. Great. Signatures. Today is the 6th, right? You. Rental. All right, we have prior meeting minutes. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at those. They're pretty good. On Langmore, we already addressed today. Any questions, comments, edits, concerns? No. I'll make a motion to approve the Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024 minutes of the select board.
Second.
You guys show me. All in favor? I'm waiting for him. It's like a Mexican standoff.
Wait for the wing.
It's like oh man, too funny, guys. So last item that we have, a formal item on the agenda is October revenues and expenses. You guys can look at that, just some quick comments here. Sue, while you're here, I just wanted to check. On the revenue side, rooms and meals tax, we haven't gotten the distribution for that yet?
We have not, but we,
Fully expected, right? Yeah.
there's no railroad tax.
Yeah.
There's no what? What did you just say?
No railroad tax, you should receive $500.
Yeah, it's a minimal amount.
And the highway block grant went up a little bit.
Yeah. And then,
Does the room and meals come on a schedule, or just when they get around to it?
It's usually every December.
December?
the sheriff, you'll note on the sheriff's sales on the revenue, that has actually been incorporated into our undesignated fund balance.
Yes.
So it's, while we were looking at it as a revenue, it actually, if you recall, early in the year, we talked about it from the accountants to put it into the undesignated fund balance. So it doesn't come in as a revenue.
And it has gone into it.
Yep. So the 1.2 million,
It's being used as revenue to offset this rate. That's what it is.
in effect, yeah. Permit fees, vehicle permit fees, we got a great,
Oh, yeah.
actually, we're ahead of schedule
That's good.
by my number, so it's always good. Buy more cars, everybody. And then we'll probably overrun on land use changes and the abatements, right, come short, I should
We
say.
don't have much.
Yeah, we're not anticipating anything, right? So we'll be about 30,000 short on those lines. Otherwise, I think we're gonna be in good shape, revenue-wise. Okay, thank you.
Sue, did you talk to Mr. Boshian on 399?
I did. He said he wants to get the camper and a vehicle off of the property. And I told him that was fine, but he needed to do it soon.
Great.
You can't just keep saying, okay, sure, yeah, we'll wait. I told him he needed to.
Well, we talked in the last meeting about them doing it by Thanksgiving. So give them a deadline and give them
I
Fix.
didn't. I did not. When he does come, he does let the police department know. I could tell him by the end of the year. Would that be a much
Right.
better?
I
That
think,
way you get something in.
say November 30th, for the snow hits.
a... I would tell them before the end of the month.
And,
Yeah.
And is he taking both trucks or just one, did he say?
he said one. One truck is his brother's,
And the other one's his dad's?
and the other one is his dad, yeah. He told me one vehicle and the camper.
Is what he's removing, and then everything else, is he done with property after that?
I believe so.
Okay. All right.
And so, I'll catch up with you on how we get rid of that other vehicle. How we dispose of it.
Okay.
Are you thinking that we have to hire somebody? You think you
I
might
don't
give
know.
it away?
I don't know, I don't know what the options are.
You'd hope it would pay for itself, someone
You know,
would take it off your hands.
Do we have, can you get a title on that too, as old as it is?
So it is a vehicle that requires a title, and I don't know if someone would come and haul it away without.
Without title.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, I don't know how.
You'll get someone to take it.
Yeah, but they won't take it without title.
Well,
Then they give you a charge for stealing the vehicle. It's,
I know some people who know some people who.
yeah. It suddenly disappears overnight. I don't have a problem with that. Okay, any other business that anyone has?
Well, I have a couple of things that I wanted to,
Hold on.
I can do that.
You have anything?
Just want to thank your staff, Sue, and everybody who worked here yesterday. Thanks, John.
Our pleasure.
That was a long
We
day.
would love to.
Muddy River needs to stay open later on election night.
What?
Muddy River needs to stay open later on election night.
They do, yes.
All right.
It's a long day.
Kent?
Yes. For a matter of I guess, notice to the select board that new zoning board of adjustment handbook came out, and as I got reading through the whole thing, one of the suggestions that they have is that the town attorney writes the decisions on meetings of the zoning board of adjustment. And given our history with the Swampscott Street property, I think that's a good idea. It has been, more or less been going through the secretary. We are good, but maybe not perfect at doing the findings of fact after the votes. It always seems like such a moment that's the issue's been discussed and decided. I don't know how Derek is going to think about that. He has tried to avoid being any kind of influence, and this is not exactly an influence, but this is recording things in such a way that they will have greater standard for argument later on.
Are there any, do we look at a different legal counsel to do that?
Well, one of the things that I noticed one day when I was in the town office, and there may be some other choices, but in the town and city and municipal publication, Concord, the firm of, well, they're all about their enforcement too, about it in Hatfield, representing municipalities. Now, they may even have, if you will, a legal secretary or somebody who would be a really good person to be at our meetings or to, well, if we could, it might be available right over online.
How many decisions a year do you think need to be written up, average?
Well, I can't say all of them are necessary, but we don't know when there's going to be a challenge.
Mm-hmm. How many do you write up a year, I guess is my question, on average? 3, 10,
It's been an active year this year.
8?
This year's been active, but it's 5, 10, but three or four of them all in the same case.
So if you're employing the attorney, it gets get a little costly, I would imagine, if you're using this.
Yeah, well, so going to court.
What about tapping the New Hampshire Municipal Association? Like you said, you have attorneys there. Ask them first, and if you're stuck.
My observation with that is quite distinctly not their job.
Well,
I speak with them with some regularity, have over many years. That's not.
well, they're a resource. That's all I'm getting at.
Oh, I understand that. So, anyways, particularly with the understanding that there's a couple of different lawsuits involving the town, I'm wondering two things. One, if the office that we are currently employing, if they have the resources to do both cases. One of the things that thought stream had been through my mind, I just thought I should let that thought stream out to you folks, and we'll see what we think of it. I haven't made any inquiries with this outfit. I think before we make that sort of thing, it should be a decision that you guys are part of.
Yeah, we're going to have to contemplate this in the context of the budget as well, obviously, because what we're talking about is additional finances for providing that kind of a formal service for the town.
basically what it is just wordsmith in the document. I mean, it's not, the decision and all the information that's being incorporated into it comes out of the ZBA function when you meet all the criteria, how you meet them or if it doesn't meet them. And so it's just a matter of having them ensuring that the document's probably wordsmith, so it's not.
However, if they're not a participant or observer of the meeting, they would have to spend the time to understand everything that was said. Because things that aren't said, yes. And it could be monitored through that system.
Or they can redo it. I mean, that's another benefit to having all meetings recorded.
Yeah.
And I agree with you to think about it, but it's a wordsmithing. It isn't like he's creating a whole document on a whole cloth.
Right. So those are the two things that I had in my mind when they came in.
No idea what it would cost to have somebody provide that service?
No.
Okay.
They talk to Derek and they talk to these folks and see what they have available.
I would imagine it's, I don't know, 3 to 5 hours of work.
Well, that seems steep.
That's
Each
my
time.
That's my question there too. Well, it might be 3. If they watch.
I'm sorry, if they have to review those
They have to
meetings.
review the film.
It depends on what you're going to get for a response. But I think if they're just taking the findings and the minutes and saying, here's a decision, here's a supporting document that you've given them, that checklist that you go through on the ZBA,
Yeah.
with the rationale behind it, that should not be a very detailed project.
Well, you put together a summary, you send it to him, and then he just gives his opinion. That would be probably the best thing.
Well, when's it looking for?
If this is something that needs strengthening in our process.
Basically, to mitigate the threat of your decision being compromised by a flaw or a mistake in the drafting of the document.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to.
It's something that as I read through here, and I came up with it's recommended. It's the first time I've seen that. I haven't talked to the municipal association about well, does that mean they need to be in attendance at the meetings? And in a sense, oh yes. In a sense, that's the appropriate way for them to have an understanding of all of the information that passed in front of the board for the meeting.
Is that been Derek's hesitation to do it? Is that why, because he has not been at the meetings, or did he verbalize the reason?
He doesn't want to have any weight in our decision going into a meeting. And at times I've asked him, when an applicant comes into me or an argument for an appeal comes to me, are those arguments good arguments? And he might avoid the conversation, thinking that he's not wanting to influence the board when I'm asking something a little bit. We've had some difficulty with that. And I think part of it doesn't want to spend a lot of town time.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But now we're maybe going to be spending court time. That's not good. So I just want to throw these things out. I may make some contact and see so that I can discuss this a little more informatively as to options.
Yep. Well, that's a good segue, Kent, because one of the last thing I wanted to raise here, we'll talk about it in more detail, but just so that everybody is aware. There's a variety of warrant articles I think that we should consider as recommendations from the board. If need be, I can do them as a citizen petition. One of which is a legal capital reserve fund, which presumably would cover costs over and above the budgeted amounts that we have for legal.
Yep.
And get sued, unanticipated. Or, you know, if we budget, let's say, $3,000 for what you're talking about, and it costs us $5,000, right? So that's one of the ones. We talked earlier about putting more money into the road maintenance fund. That's an existing fund. We have a town hall capital reserve fund, which has basically been depleted. I think we need to put more money into that to continue doing work around here. We talked earlier about the health insurance capital reserve fund. We didn't deal with that before. The last one is a celebration expendable trust fund. So right now the celebration committee has an account at Citizens Bank that operates quasi-independently, and we really shouldn't have that happen. But the reason they do that is because, you know, they allow people who make donations, and it doesn't end up hitting the general fund. What we should do is kind of get rid of that account, make this it's an informal account, make this a formal trust fund that can be expended by the select board. But by doing it as an expendable trust fund, it allows donations to be made by individuals, you know, because what the celebration does, they do a lot of donation stuff. And if somebody makes a donation to the town, it can't be designated per se. It actually ends up in the general fund. And nobody wants to do a donation. If I'm making a donation for the celebration committee, I don't want the town spending that much money to pay for it. And so by having a separate expendable trust fund as opposed to a capital reserve fund, it allows the ability of the town to take donations specifically for celebration activities. And this, right now, I think about $4,600 in the Citizens Bank account. And the idea is that we'll basically take that money and put it into the celebration expendable trust fund to basically start with. So those are, I think, warrant articles that I'll be proposing for the board and or the town for the upcoming budget session.
Sorry, not community interest.
Nominal amount, it's a checking account, so it's not a savings account or anything. It's a checking account because it gives people lots of money. But all of these would end up in the trust fund, the trustees to the trust fund would be managing all of these on the town. Like they do all our other capital funds or maybe funds.
As far as legal, all of that, I think it's a good idea to have that fund for legal. I think, kind of like what I was saying to Kent about, offsetting those costs by doing a little bit of legwork, maybe checking with another resource, right? So I think this is an ask, but perhaps we could have somebody like a volunteer in town as a mediator. So you have a problem and you have a problem with each other. You have to come in for a mediation at least.
That sounds like work.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about if there's an issue, right, in town that you make it a mandate, which you get a suggestion that you mediate first, and if one refuses to not participate in that, it gets factored into the equation. You know, if they don't want to have some kind of conversation, then it kind of tells you something, right? And I think having a mediator, you may be surprised that certain things will get resolved instead of employing an attorney every single time. It's getting to be a runaway type of thing, and the town gets threatened. Oh, I don't like your decision, I'm going to sue you. You know, and then we go, oh, okay, well, we have to lawyer up. No, we should have some mid-step where
That in general is the position that they're asking the ZBA to handle between the ordinances that the town has and the people who, or the property lots that are affected by those ordinances. position, it theoretically can handle issues on a municipal level. Not everybody likes the answers.
God, I understand. That's
And
not,
you're
wouldn't just
talking about something completely different.
Wouldn't
And I
just be
don't-
ZBA.
I need exactly to, I'm not going to volunteer to be a mediator.
No,
That's not,
You would
that's
have
not where I'm
assistance.
going to go with that.
You'd have assistance, that's the idea. You'd have someone assisting you.
No, not I have assistance, maybe the board of selectmen does, but there would be some other thing that's not driven by statutes.
Yeah, I think what Kent is pointing out here is that there are statutory processes for appeal and a decision on zoning and planning decisions that are by statute. And there is no mediation as part of that. Appeals actually have to specifically go to court in specific cases.
Individuals can go to do some mediation.
Correct. That's always open to their purview. But anybody who like appeals or decides to take a zoning decision to court, we can't require them to go to mediation.
Yeah, not require them, but to somehow suggest that, nudge them a little bit, so that we're not getting tied up in a legal issue all the time. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
It's been done before in other towns.
Do they have a mediator on staff?
No, that would be a volunteer, type of position.
Volunteer mediator?
Yeah, you'd have a,
Who's going to volunteer?
Jason, we
Treasurer.
there may be.
But you're big, and you're tall, and you look muscular, you could stand there.
Yeah, no.
Uh-huh.
I would always act in the town's best interest though, of which I'm going to do my
Of
best.
course you would. Nobody did it.
Well, okay. Well, but I guess.
It's just a side note.
No, but here's what I don't understand is that if the issue is with, let's say, an ordinance of the town, or, some kind of a statutory issue, I guess as a board, we could request a mediation, but in all honesty, our job is to address that issue. I mean, that's why we're representatives of the
We're
people of
acting
the
as the
town.
mediators, yeah.
Yeah, in a sense, that's exactly it. So I get your point, and trust me, that the legal issues that the town faces right now. We have the Ward case.
Yeah.
We have the picketing case that was filed in Hillsborough Court last year that is coming.
Oh, is that still up there?
Yes, I'm getting deposed next month.
King.
And what's that?
King.
Katie?
Yeah.
No, that issue's been off the table. The estate issue?
Yeah.
No, this picketing issue is
Oh, I
the
understand.
constitutional charge.
I'm talking about.
No, I think that one's been resolved.
That's news to me.
I haven't heard a word about that since they basically went into discussion. I think that's been resolved. Double check with Derek. But the other one is the one that just got filed.
Yeah.
Regarding the Vernon Farm and the abutters. So, yep, we have a lot of legal cases on the table right now, unfortunately, and they're all come down at the same time. So, the legal budget next year will be large, and actually that's one of the reasons to establish a legal capital reserve. All right,
Can we recoup that?
recoup what?
Like, why do we have access to my astonishing?
Recoup legal costs?
No, like, that's kind of to get a lawyer to defend ourselves against the police down the street. Like, is that what you're talking about?
Well, and again, we're being sued by the picketers from 2020.
Right.
We're being sued by Ward for the zoning issues, and we're being sued by the abutters and with respect to funds. These are cases for the court. Whether we can recoup fees or not, I have no idea. I think that's dependent on the courts.
So,
Yeah. They're usually,
judges are very.
yeah, they're usually, for something like this, where it's not frivolous, they're usually pretty reluctant to reward fees. If it seems to be a frivolous suit, they might do that, but it's hard, it's really hard to get courts,
Low single digits recovery.
pretty much.
All right.
All right, anything else?
Can I point of order, if we talk offline, just about
Getting
the
emails.
emails and just coordinating?
Can we can't get on the
Can I just mention a couple things?
Our email should be on the town website.
Well, no, it's now like
No,
a
no.
pre-populated thing where it says email, you click on it, it's a text box that you put your name and send, instead of copying you all on the email that we
Just
send.
send it to me, I'll give it.
So,
Okay, let's,
so like before, what I want to make sure is like before, it says Roger Appleton of DOT.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Roger Appleton of DOT
Yeah.
was the guy who came by the day we were
Yeah.
supposed to get it, December 19th. So
Yeah,
I was emailing him and then emailing
you,
you
yeah.
and Diane. And what I want to do is just to make sure it's efficient and coordinate one email chain because I want Roger to come back down. He said he would. We still need to find out why the work was done in front of the town hall. He, now I'm hearing it is the state.
oh, the
He wasn't-
state, all the blacktop that you see along 85 and the ditches,
Okay.
state
It's all
does
state.
that.
It, was that requested by the
No,
town
he had
hall?
nothing to do with it.
Okay, so Roger didn't know that, now he does, and so there's a lot of layers here, and I just want to make sure we're efficient.
Yeah, if
So I'm
you-
going to email and make sure everybody's like in that email, so that in the spring, especially Brian, and I have a whole set of issues here about what I feel is a little bit of intimidation, and Brian talking about a property and making characters. I didn't hear it, but I talked to Diane. and I
basically
think-
blaming our
Yeah,
vehicles.
I just think he's way out of line.
He's
Way-
not.
he's been way out of
I've already
line.
addressed that.
I mean, I want to mention one other thing that you're aware of. Roger at DOT said that at the very least, even with that job being not a permanent job, just enough to get it through the next couple of years until the road work gets done, the sidewalk gets done, he said that's at least a day and a half or 2 days. Brian said it's a half a day. I believe he doesn't want to do the work. He's intimidating us about not knowing enough about the engineering around it, and then saying that we're parking and ruining our own property is a pattern for that. I don't want to hear that again. I want to hear whether he wants to do the work or not, and I want to get on a schedule. And also, the stone on the corner, I want an answer on that too.
They told
Because-
us that we would put a mark, they could put a
Okay,
marker.
so I just feel, it's frustrating because it's a town contract that I'm paying for, we're paying for, essentially, is my understanding about the road agent. And so, in the end, I get it, it's gonna cost him some work if he's gonna do the job, but I want him to be on the team, and we're not being unreasonable here. This all started because we're willing to do the work on our own property, and the contractor that came in day one said, until this other work gets addressed, there's no point of doing
We
the
can't move
investment in
forward.
our own property. And so everyone agrees, Roger from the state agreed that erosion that's going on there can be addressed and fixed. He just didn't know enough about what's going on with the town because that's the town side. So what I'd like to do, if you want to do, is just send an email around saying we want to get a schedule and some sort of plan in place, and then Roger can come back down. And if he's going to address the state side, he's already seen the work that's done, and he can't say we're not going to do more work there. He clearly gets it on some sort of schedule, but it should be coordinated, so that's done first. And then right after, or right around the same time, Brian does his work. And so, that makes sense?
So just to be clear, if we send a thread, reply to the one we already included you on, you will forward that to,
All of us.
all of
take it to the
the-
board.
Okay, great. So then,
Brian.
we don't, unless you want us to include Brian on that.
No,
email.
just send it to me and I'll disseminate it.
Okay, that's all. I don't
At
want
least
to-
you can-
I've sent several ones to him, I've never heard back.
The real backstory here is the 3 times I've called to try to get Brian, involved in this. He only got involved after we had to get in and talk about it in the meeting. So that's ancient history as far as I'm concerned. But I already know that this is going to be way at the bottom of his list, and spring's going to turn into summer. And so if we can get on schedule, and we're willing to take the lead on a lot of this, including interacting with Roger at DOT and doing all the, that work to make sure everybody knows what's going on. In the end, it's not a lot of work, but it's important to us. So look for the emails. And
Understand.
thank you. Okay.
I'll look forward to manager tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other business?
At least you'll get an answer. You'll get an answer.
Yeah, no, that's great. Team out.
All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn at 8:16 PM.
Second.
All in favor?